Welcome back to this year's Halloween Spooktacular. We're getting towards the end of October here, but today we're going to be talking about another movie involving dreams, and that is A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. Going to kind of make it my thing to review all of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and I'm probably going to do them all within consecutive years. We reached 4. 4 is obviously inferior to both 1 and 3, but it's a lot better than 2 if you think. I do think this is okay. I shouldn't actually say it's a lot better than 2 because it might not be, but it is better than 2. It's at that point in A Nightmare on Elm Street where you can just kind of do some silly things. This movie does some silly things. It's got some of the best Freddy one-liners in the entire series. It has one of the best kills in the entire series, actually probably my favorite kill in the entire series, and that is when he turns Debbie into the cockroach, puts her in the cockroach motel, and then squishes that cockroach motel. There's like cockroach guts and juice and slime slithering out of that thing, and you hear the crunchiness, and it's disgusting and gross. One of the best kills of the entire series, probably the best of the entire series, honestly. You also have the waterbed kill, in which Freddy makes an attempt at a waterbed pun.
How's this for a wet dream?
It's great. I mean, this is the type of Freddy that people wanted, and this is why a lot of people actually prefer Dream Warriors, the third one, to the original one, because Freddy is more fun. He's in it more. He has a lot of the one-liners, and he just says funny, fucked up shit before he kills people. And it's great. This was also directed by Renny Harlin at a time when Renny Harlin was cooking, man. Between this and Die Hard 2, and I'll give him Deep Blue Sea. I mean, I've roasted Deep Blue Sea on this channel, but compared to what he's doing now and in the recent 15 or so years, what happened to this Renny Harlin? This is when he was cooking, man. He actually cared about making a movie. He wasn't making an entire trilogy of Strangers movies just for a decent paycheck. He's actually taking the time to set up shots, to put people in the frame specifically where he wants them to be, to have actual good lighting in his movies and some pretty decent shots here. There's like a shot in this movie where Freddy rises up and the camera kind of pans over him as he rises up. Where did this Renny Harlin go? This is the Renny Harlin I miss. Like, Cliffhanger Renny Harlin. I can't believe I forgot to mention Cliffhanger. That's another great one by Renny Harlin. Nowadays, he just seems like the discount Yule Bowl or something. But back then, he was cooking, man. He was. He really was. This movie is well made. I can't help but say that. He definitely took the time and the effort to put as much care and thought and devotion into this movie. You could tell he was passionate about the first three, and he wanted to make as good of an Elm Street movie as he possibly could. I think he did with the material that was given for the scripts. He did the best he possibly could. This also sees the return of some of the Dream Warriors from the previous movie. That is definitely going to be a hot topic, and that's where I think a lot of my disdain for this movie comes in. It's not, like I said, it's not horrible, but the things I dislike really stem from the usage of the Dream Warriors. In a way, they kind of Alien 3 the Dream Warriors, but at least they show the deaths of the Dream Warriors. They're not off screen. My boy Kincaid had to be the first one to go. Why? But at least they show them dying. They don't do it off screen like Alien 3 does at the beginning, where everybody from Aliens survived the events of Aliens and then they crash land on the planet in Alien 3. I forget the name of the planet because Alien 3, let's admit it, is forgettable. And they're like, nope, everybody's dead. So yeah, they kind of do that with this movie where it's like, nope, the characters you loved in the previous one are dead. Now you got to follow a supporting character named Alice that I don't really have all that much of an attachment to, mostly because she's set up in this movie to be a supporting character, and then she turns into the main character, because really, like, how this movie is structured is that you think you're following Kristen again from Dream Warriors and the rest of the Dream Warriors. Obviously, it's setting up the Dream Warriors, the surviving members of the events of the previous movie, to be supporting characters in this movie, and then they get ganked immediately, almost 20 minutes in, and then the rest of the movie seems like, okay, maybe it's going to be Kristen taking on Freddie again, which, by the way, she Tuesday nights plays Kristen in this movie instead of Patricia Arquette, and also sings the opening song over the credits, which they were definitely trying to emulate Dawkins' Dream Warriors, and it comes nowhere close. But point aside, yeah, she Tuesday night plays her in this movie, and every scene feels like Kristen is the main character, and Alice kind of pops in every once in a while in the first 40 minutes or so. And then Kristen gets killed. And that's it for the Dream Warriors. And then the rest of the movie follows on with Alice. I would have preferred if Kristen died to die at the end of this movie and maybe have passed the baton to Alice for Dream Child, in kind of in the same way that Nancy Thompson came back for the third one and then died at the end of that movie. I think they could have handled it better within the screenplay and within the movie itself. There's also a pacing issue I have with the fourth one. Towards the end of the second act, beginning of the third act, about, I would say, close to an hour in, there's a good 10-minute break where nobody's doing anything. I'm just bored in that 10 minutes. Mind wanders. I'm looking at images on screen that don't really feel like they pertain to anything that has been happening until you get to the Roach Motel kill, and then it picks back up for the last 20 minutes. And the final confrontation between Alice and Freddy Krueger in the church, pretty solid. I like that. I like how Freddy has like all these like souls that are coming off of him. You can see all the burn scars. They're kind of meshed and molded into the burn scars, and they're like screaming and all that. And they made the design of Freddy look a little bit more creepy, but it just would have helped if he was a bit creepier, not just kind of like a cynical comic type of one-liner slasher villain that he's turned into. I do prefer the Freddy from the original Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm not huge on comedic Freddy, even though he is hilarious at points, because it just, even in this movie, it's really a detriment to his character because it doesn't really make him all that scary, if you ask me. Allows for better kills at the same time. So there's a bit of a contention point and confliction there for me. Movie's well made. I can give it to this movie. I just wish this movie handled the Dream Warriors better and the main character, Kristen, better. I think they could have found a better way to weave Alice into this series and not make her the main character in this one and save it for Dream Child, because I think she comes back in Dream Child. I've only seen the sequels once, and I've seen, or up to this point, I've seen 2, 3, and 4 twice. So I'll have to go back and see when I rewatch the series, or next year when I watch 5, which I'm actually kind of curious because Stephen Hopkins, the director of Predator 2, directed Nightmare on Elm Street 5. So I'm kind of curious going into that with a fresh perspective. But this one's okay. It's better than 2. It's nowhere near as good as 1 or 3. It's vastly inferior to those. It's inferior to New Nightmare as well. I think it's probably the best of the sequels after that, though. I'm going to give Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, a C+. It's got some fun moments. I do think it's stupid though how they learn about the Dream Master. I forgot to mention this before I gave the grade. That's like it's from like ancient philosophy. Like Aristotle came up with the idea of dream masters. What are we thinking with this goddamn screenplay? Holy shit. But yeah, I should have mentioned that before I gave the grade, but that's kind of my ending point for Nightmare on Elm Street 4. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. I'll leave my link to my website in the description below as well. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I will see you at the movies somewhere.